Hi, I'm Angel Tuccy, and I am here talking with Cheryl, one of our brand new authors who just came through the 90-day author program, just is about ready to publish her book and have it in hand. Cheryl, how are you doing today?
Oh, I am thrilled to have this book completed. I am like on top of the world.
This is your third book that you just completed. So, Cheryl, give us your name, tell us where you're coming from, and a little bit about your business.
Okay, I'm Cheryl Stelte. I'm a spiritual coach and master healer. I'm a Canadian living in Colorado, way up in the mountains. And my business is Star of Divine Light Institute. And generally, I help people, especially mature women, who have been on a strong spiritual path. They know they have subconscious blocks and they lack clarity. They just have a longing for clarity. What's next? What am I meant for? And they know they're meant for more. So I help them clear those blocks, get all that inner clarity, and step into authentic power and really start living their lives the way they were designed to in the most fulfilling ways.
I love it. And you are so darling. Like you just exude, like you walk the walk, and you're just a shining example of how you serve your clients. Now, tell me a little bit about your previous publishing experience, because working with us with this 90 day, like this is your third book. So tell us a little bit about your previous books.
So my first two books are the first one was Heal Your Neck Issues and Let Your Throat Chakra Shine. And that was my first go with writing a book. I was so strongly guided to step into being an author. And so I hired an organization to help me do that. And I went through many processes, and they really kept us on track. And the one thing I loved about that was how we sort of put the book together. That was, you had to create a messy list or like a basket full of ideas. So that was really helpful. And then it eventually formed into a book. What I realized, if I can compare already from your program, is that I didn't have an opportunity to do any of the formatting. All of that was done for me. The formatting, I was grateful to have a designer design the cover for me, and I had input. I could only do input, I think, 3 times on both those first two books, but very pleased with the results. And I really got my message out there. And it wasn't much later that I was then guided to write my second book, Client Magnet, the coach's guide to attract ideal clients through spiritual awareness, really spiritual practices. And the reason I wrote that book so soon after was because coaches were starting to find me, these women who are in business and they're trying to get their programs going, and they may have had 1 or 2 or 0 clients and then nothing.
Mm.
I had coaches with 6 months, no clients, 8 months, 10 months, even 20 months, no
Oh,
group happening.
oh, oh, wow.
Painful, painful.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did my throat chakra program, and and these women within 6, 7, maximum 8 weeks had full groups formed, and they're off to the races, they're off and running. And I started getting the feedback, you should be calling it a different program for coaches, you should give it a different name. And so then I was inspired, oh well, maybe I should write another book and provide that information on how to really become that energetic client magnet.
Mm.
Because for me, even when I wrote my first book for that program that I was offering, it was like clients were falling out of the sky for me. You know,
Wow.
social
Wow.
media has never been my thing. I dabble in it here and there, but it's not my way. And so that was really rewarding to write that second book. Yeah. And then never thought I'd write a third book. I thought, okay, I'm done with books. You only
Yeah.
need two, you don't need more. And then I started getting this sort of nagging inside me, and this, you need to write a third book. You need to write a third one at least before you retire. You have so much you haven't shared. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have the time. I mean, I am busy like you, right? We're busy. And then your program came along, and I just went, oh my gosh, this is it. This is for me.
I love it. It was so divine. And I remember you telling me that, like, I was thinking about it, this showed up, it just, everything just seemed to come together. But what was it? What was it that stood out to you, Cheryl, that you thought, yes, this is definitely the path that I want to take. I want to work. I want to do the 90-day out there program. I want to work with Angel. Like, what was the thing that kind of put you over the fence on that?
It was because I could do the Media Firestorm at the same time to do both programs combined. That was super helpful. The main reason was you landed right in front of me.
Mm.
Like I couldn't look to the left and to the right. Sure, I could go and research, get other quotes, look at other, and I didn't. I was just like, no, this is a no-brainer. Why do I want to waste my time? And I had met you at a couple of events, and I always admired you, and thought a lot of you. And I remember a spiritual teacher saying to me once, whoever is coaching, teaching you, you must have the desire to be like them to a certain extent. If you don't want to be like them, you've got the wrong teacher. And I remember thinking I'd like to be like her. You know, in many ways I'd really like to be like Angel Tuccy. Lots of qualities that I admire and would like to develop in myself. Yep, inhale that, just breathe it in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
And so I thought this is really just meant to be.
Oh my gosh. And it felt like that with me too. Every time you and I would be on the call together, it did really feel like it was meant to be. Um, Tell me a little bit about your experience. How was it going through the program? Was it hard? Was it challenging? Was it easy?
Well, like with everything worthwhile, there's got to be some lumps and bumps. If we're not growing through it, what are we doing? Right. And so I jumped in with great enthusiasm and I was excited and I started, compiling my list. What was I going to write about? And it just went to bad to worse. And I was like, what am I doing? My old stuff of who do I think I am, right? and and I just felt like I was wading in the mud. I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. Why did I agree to do this? And it was because it just didn't feel like it was coming together. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep writing and I'm going to trust this process because I remembered having some challenges in my first two books, but not like this.
Mm.
And what I realized once the book was finished, it was the hardest challenges in this book because this book will be my most successful book by far. This to me is my legacy book. It's the book I'm most proud of. And so as it started to come together, it started to be more and more fun. And then I couldn't stop. I told you I can't stop writing. I'm up late and I stopped working overtime years ago. I am not a workaholic, will not. And I was just, there were weeks I was just, oh my gosh, it's 9:30 and I'm still on the screen, even though I have my glasses on. I know I'm not going to be able to sleep, all that screen time. But it was a blast. And then the final piece that I didn't know what I was missing out on my first two books. I did all the formatting myself. I know you said we could hire somebody, but I thought, no, I used to be an interior designer, still kind of am. So I did all the formatting and that to me was just so creative. Oh, what font, what size, what do I want to put here? And then I created the whole book cover by myself. And I had my VA help me. He's a graphic designer, thank goodness. So I gave him all my ideas and we went back and forth, back and forth. And I got to finalize all the nuts and bolts and pieces of everything. So it is 100% my book, and I'm so proud of it.
I know you are. I know you are. You have said like this is my best piece. This is going to be my legacy. And so let's talk about the book. Tell our audience about this book.
Well, the title is From Blocked to Powerful, and it is the spiritual guide to unlock clarity and step into authentic power. And and even the title, I went back, that was a process in itself that I'm still today so grateful for because it really speaks to the work I do. And so we all come to a place in our lives where we know we're meant for more. We want to move forward, but we know we have subconscious blocks. And that's the key word, subconscious. You know, it's one thing to be aware of how we're getting in our own way. It's another thing to not know what the problem is, to not have any idea. And so the From Blocked is the whole book will guide you through the steps. First, what are subconscious blocks? What is authentic power? I don't even start with my own personal story like I did in my first two books. Let me provide that information for you so you can see, is this what I really need? And then I go into one of my personal stories. I have a lot of personal stories around being blocked, to going from blocked to powerful. And then it's a compilation of spiritual practices and so much the most powerful practices that I personally have used over the last 31 years.
Mm.
I've been on a very strong spiritual journey. I practice multiple modalities, and these are my go-to practices. And these are practices that I'm teaching to my higher state throat chakra program. It's my highest level program. I have a number of programs. And so the book lets you do it for yourself, lets you do this work at home, and that you can have it there as a resource. You know, you can journal, you can do the spiritual practices, and really discover your inner power, which is really who you truly are. And ultimately, it's God or the universe moving through you in your own unique way.
Ah, oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. And I know everybody's going to want to go and grab a copy of that. What is the best way, Cheryl, for us to connect with you?
Well, I don't have the fancy whatever. I mean, I'm Star of Divine Light website, but just Google search Cheryl Stelte. You're going to find me. There's lots of ways to connect with me. And my last name is Stelte. But if you want to jump right into my website, it's all one word, starofdivinelight.com, because I believe that we are all stars of divine light.
Mm, I love it. Starofdivinelight.com. And tell me the name of the book again, the title.
From blocked to powerful, the
From
spiritual guide to unlocking clarity and authentic power.
I should have had that. I should have had that in front of me already before we started. Cheryl, if somebody's thinking they might have a book inside of them and might want to get that published, would you recommend the 90-day author program or what would you say to them?
I would say yes, go for it. What I would suggest first, like so many of the people in my cohort, they had ideas of what they were going to write on. I had zero. I thought, oh no, I have it all in me. There's plenty. I had thoughts, but write it down.
Mm.
What are the words? What are the topics? The stories that you can tell about your life, the topics you can speak to, write the list, and then talk to these people, the 90-day author, and let them help you go the rest of the way to a final book that you can fully call your own.
I love it. Well, it is. This book is so you, Cheryl. It looks like you. Even with your fun fonts, it is you. Just you have breathed life into this, and you've been so much fun to work with. I'm gonna miss our times together. We had a new group that started up today, and Cheryl wasn't on the call. And I'm like, I'm really gonna miss you, but I saw you were on my calendar, so that was exciting. Cheryl, thank you so much for trusting me, for being just willing to go through the process, even when it got hard and a little muddy. But you set that goal, you made a decision, and you saw it through to the end. And now you have something so amazing. I know you're on a book tour. If you want to interview Cheryl, you want to reach out to her, host a book event with her, make sure that you do that. We'll put her link to her website, starofdivinelight.com, down below. Cheryl, anything else that you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to say that we are all powerful beyond belief, powerful beyond what we can imagine. Every one of us, if you can just inhale that, breathe that in. And thank you so much, Angel. This has just been more than a dream can come true, more than I could have imagined. Thank you.
Well, so excited for you. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk soon.